Hey everybody, welcome. I asked chat what to draft today, and the Arena Cube won the voting, and I was like, well, we could certainly jump into an Arena Cube queue, or we can try this thing together, play against chat using MTGAdraft.tk as our place to play, place to draft. You've heard me say before MTGAdraft.herokuapp.com, but our friend Senryoku has his own place, own hosting for the MTGA draft now. Much simpler thing to say. MTGAdraft.tk is where you too can draft with your friends, with people you know, export your decks over to Arena, and then use the friend challenge system in there, if it doesn't drive you mad first, to battle it out on Arena. So we get to play it out on Arena, but we draft over on Senryoku's site, and it has been the source for a lot of fun around here. It's what the Hunter Pence Sweatsuit Invitational uses. I'll be doing that on Thursday again, try to participate in those as much as I can. And so what we're going to do here is actually do a best of three. Historically, when I draft chat on Fridays, we do best of one, but since I don't necessarily have 7 people available to play today, but I have 7 people who can draft, I'm going to take on some of the people who draft here today in a best of 3. And we are going to explore the new Magic Online Cube. The Magic Online Cube is vintage. This is the Magic the Gathering Arena Cube, which is definitely not vintage. That stuff is not on this system, but it is pretty deep. I mean, it kind of shows you that you don't need a ton of Magic sets before you can make compelling and powerful cubes. I mean, it's just the more sets you add, the broader card pool you have, and the stronger it tends to be. But you just don't need a lot of sets before you can come up with a really fun cube experience, and that's what we're going to jump into today. I'm going to thank my sponsor, CardKingdom.com, as I hop over here to the left monitor. If you're ever looking to build your own cube, I have gotten basically the vast majority of singles that I have sought out. Like, I got a lot of the singles for my vintage cube from working at Wizards, where I had access to. I would get foil sets when a set came out, so it was really easy to just pluck them from that. But I had to reach backward in time for a lot of my stuff in my cube, and basically over the years, I've been steadily building up my cubes through Card Kingdom. We've gotten cards here and there from other places, but it's just so easy. Like, also, I'm pretty patient. Sometimes there's a weird foil that they don't have, and that you're having trouble finding anywhere. And that's when I use the wish list feature to make sure that when they do get it in stock, it's going to end up in my cube. And I've used that several times successfully as well. Anyway, I could do a ready check, but I believe that everybody here is just waiting on me to be ready. So let's dive in and find the start button. Draft. Here we go. That's the button. Haha. I'm trying to get him without being ready. Maybe without doing a ready check, it'll give me a little advantage somehow. No, I think everybody will be fine. But I want to do this. There we go. That's a pretty good view, wouldn't you say? Lurrus is interesting. 2 colors, so you can go some different directions with it. And companion or not, like, Lurrus is just such a strong card in terms of being able to recast 2-drops from your graveyard every turn. Like, if you get a sacrifice, you get something value-based 2-drop. It's just really good. Yeah, I'm less concerned about whether it's a companion and more concerned about whether or not I'm just doing the thing, because it's very powerful at that. If we weren't taking Lurrus, I could see Cultivate and go for big stuff, just start with the fixing and have a plan to be green big stuff, mainly because there's not a slap you in the face powerful card here. Like Voracious Hydra also leaps out at me as a powerful card in this pack, but I'm kind of enamored by the Lurrus. We'll give this a shot. Let's take Lurrus and see where it goes. Inscription of Abundance is pretty good too, but I think overall this is a fairly weak pack. Some lands I don't necessarily want to start on these tap lands, but there's some. I guess it feels weak because there's a lot of land in here, even though lands are pretty high picks in Cube. Queen was asking what's the difference between You know, how is cube different from regular drafting? And it's things like lands go much, you prioritize lands. The major difference is that every card is good, so you are more deliberately building towards a very specific archetype, constructed deck archetype, as opposed to taking good stuff and seeing what comes together. So Cheese likes Valky. We did start with a white-black card, so that does fit into what Lurrus is doing. It's even a 2-drop that could be recast. Now, can you cast Tibalt Cosmic Imposter or only the Valky? Like, didn't they change that rule? Like, you should only be able to cast the Valky side, right? Yeah, Realm Cloak Giant as a is also interesting. So I like Valky though as well because it does work with our first pick. So I don't know, let's take it. Is it enter the battlefield? Yeah. I don't need to marry either of these though. If we ended up mono red from here, we like get past Embercleave somehow, take it, go red, that'd be fine. What else is good in here? I'm one of my favorite deck types in Cube in general is green ramp. So that's why I was looking at the Cultivate early, and that Mana Dork catches my eye as well. I just like ramping. Ranger of Eos is interesting because it would fetch us things that we could then use Lurrus to recast, right? Unburial Rites is effectively a white-black card if we felt like we wanted to be specifically white-black or... well, we're already off of the companion thing if we were to take Ranger, right? Because we couldn't play it. But forget what's in our pile. What do you think is the best cards here? Rimrock for the aggro red is pretty solid. Folio of Fancies is somewhat of a plan in and of itself, but it's a risky one. Teferi, Teferi is annoying. It feels like this shouldn't be as annoying as it is, but then you play Teferi and it's just like, ugh. You like the Blade? Yeah, Blade is interesting for us because I don't know if it's the best card in the pack in the abstract, but Blade is interesting for us is if it is recastable from the graveyard. But don't know, how often are we going to recast an Ancestral Blade? Not often, unless there was some sort of sack effect. I mean, that's what's really great with Lurrus is when you can sack your things that you can recast, right? I'm going to stick with the Ranger and assume that there are 1-drops in the set that are going to work great with Lurrus. The self-sacrificing 1-drops are really where it's at. That's what's going on in Standard right now with Lurrus. Is if you play mono white, you can sack a lot of these protective 1-drops and basically have protection every turn. So I'm kind of assuming those types of cards are going to be in here for mono white and that they work well with Lurrus in that way. And on that front, yes, we have this Valky, but Lurrus is effectively mono white if we want it to be. We can take something like Aerial Responder and head towards mono white aggro. There's Icy Manipulator, that's strong. There's Isolated Chapel, which if we go with both sides of Lurrus would help us cast all of this. Yeah, Judith is interesting. Judith with Lurrus and more black and red could give us a sacrifice deck. Yeah, let's take Judith as we feel out where we want to be. Like Aerial Responder is super solid if you're mono white aggro, but Judith is both more interesting and effectively more powerful if we successfully build around it. So let's take Judith. I like that. Yeah, Expert would be a great one to find a way to sacrifice and recast turn after turn with Lurrus, right? That's another interesting thought, actually. Like just taking Expert and looking for those sack outlets so that we can cast this once per turn. Once per turn, Expert seems real nice. Yeah, I've changed my mind. I'm going to take the expert. It keeps us out of a third color. And Savior is exactly what I'm talking about in terms of self-sacrificing 1-drops that allow Lurrus to create a protector every single turn. So we're going to take that Savior, and we can fetch it with the Ranger, which is why I took the Ranger. So coming together on that front. So Queen, if you're still watching and hanging with us here, do you feel how different this is from a regular draft in the sense that I started with this card and I'm trying to pick these cards that, and yeah, you can pick a rare in a regular draft and start kind of building around it, but it's very different in Cube where you're literally building around it. You're just saying, okay, and it can be tough because there's no guarantee we draw Lurrus every time, but you also count on a well-designed cube to give you different outlets and different enablers for a strategy. So if we're finding that Lurrus wants cheap creatures that sacrifice, well, that's when you find Judith and other things that reward you for sacrificing cheap creatures, right? So like Dread Wanderer, is this going to be decent? Enters the battlefield, tapped, return Dread Wanderer from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate this time anytime you could cast a sorcery, and only if you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. So this comes back. So this could be part of an ongoing sacrifice value. So like if we don't have Lurrus, we're still sacrificing for value. Golden Egg is the kind of sneaky thing that Lurrus can help you recast. Triome called for, if this were yeah, this is an interesting Triome, you know, the dual land for sure. Since it's looking like black-white is kind of where we're headed. Also see Sword of Body and Mind, which is one of these cards that's just like a card out of time. You know, like this is a very powerful effect. I don't know if anybody, I kind of don't have chat up, but I don't know if people are talking about the sword at all, but it jumps out at me as a very viable pick, even though it's not really doing this thing. It just randomly wins games. And Foulmire Knight, also interesting. Yeah, I can cast it again and again and again. I'm gonna, well, I took the sword, I guess. I don't know if this is right. Nobody was really talking about it, but especially in a world where we're looking to get 1- and 2-drop creatures, this is gonna accidentally win. And we're also best of 3. If we're just bringing this in against blue-green, where the protection is extra good. I mean, this sword is just, this is just a powerful, like, they never completed this cycle because, you know, they've only done the off-color ones because they just felt these were so powerful that it would be too hard to do the allied colored ones and deliver in an appropriate power spectrum for standard. Yeah, I think I'm on Grasp. Weaponize is being called because, again, it gives us the Lurrus effects that, but we could go Blood Crypt or Terramorphic if we want to expand our mana too. But I like Grasp. Let's just take some removal here. Although I got to watch out. I keep passing good lands for good cards, but eventually I'm going to want to take Fixing. Take Awakening here. One nice thing about Awakening is that when we're looking to be low curve to take advantage of Lurrus, and a nice spectrum of low curve creatures is exactly what Awakening wants, because you can get value out of it for 6 mana. When you can get 3 things back for 6 mana on Awakening, it's a very powerful effect, and it's on a land that enters untapped if we need it to. Yeah, Doom Foretold, look into Pluck, you know, Doom Foretold, man, boy, I would love both of these in this deck, really. But I think I'll take the land because of its flexibility in that axis. But yeah, this is absolutely a Doom Foretold deck in that with Lurrus. All right, we sack an Exposition Expert each turn, we recast it each turn, and we Doom Foretold it each turn. That is a combo. No kidding. But I do like the land, so I'm going to take it. If you took the Doom, I don't blame you. It's a very interesting spot. And look, we get a Triome we can take. It's still in our base colors, and even has that red that we've been looking at some of the other colors. So Triome is great here. Now, I can't get that back with Lurrus, right? Oh, no, I can, right? So if I cycle, I can just cycle and get it back? I forgot Lurrus can do lands. Reading cards. It's hard to read because on Heroku, I can't, like, zoom in. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to read. Each permanent card in your starting... Oh, wait. During each of your... Oh, so I was reading the wrong section. You may cast. Yeah, you're right. It says cast. But sorry, it's just hard for me to see because it's tiny. So it does not work. I didn't think it did, so I was going to be surprised when it did. Castle Locthwain is a nice pickup here. Yeah, it makes sense too. Lurrus was already busted enough, right? If it did lands too, the fetch land situation in Modern would be nonsense. Cool start. I like where we've started. I don't know if it's the most powerful thing this cube can do or whatever, but I love Lurrus, and I like that we're doing some build around picks and stuff. And Spland. Now this is in the graveyard as a creature, so we could cast this again and again and again if there were a sacrifice effect. Blade. Cleric. I'm going to take the Spland. But I think these are fairly close. But there are more things that let us straight sacrifice creatures for recursion with Lurrus than artifacts. I'm going to take the Cleric. If you like Blade, I don't blame you. It was pretty close, but my tiebreaker was just the strength of Splans in general. And we get an aerial responder that I was considering the first time around. Behold, still here. Guess nobody wants to be holden. Never be holden. That's what we say around here. If Oppo asks us this question, we don't have a good answer, so I'm going to cut it. Dread Wanderer. Nice. Great late pickup for us. We can get it with Ranger of Eos. And if we can get some sack effects, we can recur our sack effects. Interesting that Bind the Monster is in the cube. I wouldn't think it would be good enough, but maybe blue is low enough on interaction that the cube designer decided it was relevant enough. A lot of interesting stuff for us here, but one leaps out at me. I bet it leaps out to a lot of longtime drafters. Well, the land does leap out, but we're looking at trying to find our way to sacrificing stuff for value. And I am on Midnight Reaper. We saw the lands wheel a bunch, and I don't think people are necessarily... Nobody else is doing white-black. I'm going to try and wheel the Shrine, and we're going to take Midnight Reaper. Midnight Reaper is nutso. I love it as protection against Wrath, and just as a combo piece with what we're trying to head towards. And yeah, Cauldron, Zealot, Shelter, and Shrine, and Riss even. Like, any of these 5 come back, and we're pretty happy. And I'm sure it'll be a matter of which one of the 5 we take. But I'm taking Midnight Reaper off the top. I bet we get the Cauldron on the wheel pretty darn easily. Like, the question is, are these other ones going to be more interesting to us than the Cauldron? I think we've carved out sacrifice, white-black, or black sacrifice. I mean, we did see, we passed Judith, and Judith likes a good sacrifice deck, red-black sacrifice. So maybe we'll find ourselves competing. But I think we kind of just have this deck if we want it. Interesting one here. We have Gutter Bones, which is findable with Ranger. And then we have Legion's Landing, which I think is probably a little better, but can't be found by Ranger. But I also think, I don't think anybody's doing the Gutterbones thing, whereas somebody might still be doing the White Weenie thing. We haven't seen like White Weenie stuff flowing. So I'm leaning Landing. But these are close, and this would be a place where maybe if there was a, like if this were the white-black temple, I would just take that. Right now, I guess if Ranger's the only thing keeping us from legit companioning Lurrus, we would probably cut the Ranger. But right now, I'm not planning on companioning. I'm just assuming that we're going to put it as a card in the deck. Discordant as a hedge, yeah, we could find a splash and make that do something interesting. But I'm going to stick to the core plan here and go with Gutterbones or Legion's Landing. And given that we saw Dread Wanderer, like was that literally last pick? I think we can just count on Gutterbones coming around. So I'm going to take Landing. Yeah, right now it can, but I'm going to continue to draft as though we might be playing this. I don't think companioning Lurrus is that important if it costs us a bunch to do it. So I'll say it is another piece of the puzzle, that basically another version of the Selfless Savior. But I also like a Maze Mind Tome. I mean, we can recast Maze Mind Tomes with Lurrus. But we should stick to the creature plan, I think. And that means either the Life's Bounty. Angel of Invention is nice as well. Yeah. But I am on the, I think those suggesting Feed, Maze Mind, or Alseid, I think this is what we're looking at. And it's true, like we can probably wheel the Alseid if chat isn't into it. This would be an interesting one to pick up here. I'm going to take the Tome. It's super powerful, and although it takes a while before we're... Oh, no, it's Exile. Also, it doesn't work. Maybe it still might be worth taking because it's that good. But I'm going to go back to Life's Bounty. I thought I could recast this off of Lurrus, but we can't because it exiles. So I'm going to go more towards the creature side. Dauntless Bodyguard continues to be low-down stuff that we can recast and go find, but Cruel Celebrant is kind of doing the thing a little more. This is like a reward for us, but we still want to find sack outlets. Like that's where we passed the sack outlet, the Cauldron. Like I kind of want to get that Cauldron back. We'll take a Celebrant here over Bodyguard. Yeah, Woe Strider would be nice. So yeah, I effectively feel like we have one sack outlet in the Cauldron, but I would like to get some more reliable ones. Correct, this is the current Arena Cube. Well, I should say this is the link that Mama sent me, which I trust to be the current Arena Cube. That was the plan, and Mama's pretty darn competent. Don't tell her I said that, I don't want to get her big head. Hidden stockpile. Boom. I didn't say nothing, Mama. You just look the other way. What's going on over there? Nothing. You're great. That's all we said. You're great. I like the Nightmare. I would probably almost wheel this one, but I can't risk it. Like this is what we need. Yeah, I like Heartless 2D, but this is like if we're trying to draft a constructed deck, we need stockpile. Interesting. Lots of stuff here. Epic Downfall for some interaction. Noxious Gearhulk for some interaction that precludes, companioning Lurrus. But I think we're playing Midnight Reaper. I'm not going to companion Lurrus anyway, so we can take what we want. Loxodon has the support here. We could just take it. But yeah, Downfall or Gearhulk. I think I like creature-based interaction. Downfall is cheaper for sure, but I'm going to take Noxious. Yeah, great top end. If we're not going to be Lurising, we can fill out this curve a little bit, and I think Noxious is excellent. Loxodon, excellent in the right deck, merely good in this one. So, like, Loxodon is something that gets me into mono white, but at that point, you want so many 1-drops. Oh, the curve is going to be kept low D, but it doesn't mean we can't run some top end. Egon, not really for us, right? I mean, I guess it mills, so like we played could draw some cards, but yeah, Clarion Spirit seems fine, right? We're doing enough early that this seems fine. Yeah, exiling, so it prevents, it's kind of a non-bow, really. Egon's like a non-bow with Luris. Warrant was technically some interaction, but not that I really liked. Obliterator. But Archfiend's Vessel is where we're at. This is where if we recast Archfiend's Vessel from the graveyard, we get a 5/5. We have to exile it probably, right? Yeah, so we don't get to do it again and again and again, but the first one gets us a nice one. Yeah, there's some solid stuff, but I think Vessel is really right on plan. It's fetchable by Ranger. Dreadhorde Invasion is okay, but how is this ours? You know, I mean, I guess we can like sack a army token every turn or something, but I'd rather have the Vessel. And Supplier, yeah, would supply us with some fodder for Luris, but Vessel is right on plan. I'm going to take it. And look, the Godless Shrine came back. Note that the Cauldron did not. We thought we were getting a Cauldron for sure out of this, and our question was going to be, do we want to take something else besides the Cauldron? So this is surprising to me. I would love this Dusk Legion Zealot, but we're going to take this Shrine. Cast our spells. Yeah, Judith, looks like we passed Judith and it is costing us a little bit. So now we're fighting somewhat for tools for our deck. Yeah, looks like we're actually up against Rakdos Sack, which is too bad because we're going to hurt each other. We can take a Temple of Deceit or a Clearwater Pathway. Both represent a chance of being blue. If we decide in pack 3 there's some sort of blue we want to get. I guess we take the Temple, although this enters untapped, which is... Can we take the Showdown? Maybe. Yeah, maybe Showdown of the Scalds is worth it here. We do have a Triome. Okay, we'll take the Showdown and see. Right now we're not playing it, but sure. It's a card that could be good in this deck. And we got our Angel back. Nice. I'll take that. Kind of a weird little deck here, but I like it. Yeah, I like the Showdown call, gang. That's reasonable. We're not there yet, but we totally could be, and we've got one land towards it as it is. Pathway, not strictly better though, right? Because there are ways to punish non-basics, but I hear you. Bodyguard is fine. So now we have, between Bodyguard, Savior, and Alseid, we have like 3 cards that we can get back with the Luris to protect the Luris, which is nice. And then Heartless Act comes back. Cool. Helm of the Host is... I mean, here you go. This is cube drafting in a nutshell. Like, the Helm of the Host is one of the top picks in Dominaria draft. One of the best cards you could hope to open. Colorless and crushing. And it's going 14th pick, probably unplayed here. Just because this is cube. Everything is busted. Sacred Cat is probably not going to make the cut out of, given what we're seeing here. I think it's just not good enough. I think we have other better stuff to do. Seal Away versus Cast Out versus Angel of Sanctions. 3 removal spells. The most expensive one attacks and blocks. And the next most expensive one can cycle, but you never cycle this thing. I mean, it's effectively a 4-drop, right? Yeah, I'm kind of leaning on the Angel. We have a lot of stuff going on early, so let's dump our stuff early and then drop an Angel that gets rid of their blocker and starts attacking on the way back. I'm going to do Angel. Yeah, the Bugler is super good. Like, at 3 mana, it's going to find us something, but I also bet we wheel the Bugler. So let's wheel and we'll take the Bugler on the wheel. Because while we might be up against a red-black Judith deck, seems like we're fighting against a red-black sack for some sacrifice parts. But they're not into it for the white, so we should be able to get the white stuff. Woe Strider is exactly what David called for. This is another engine builder here. Like, we really need it. This sets us up great. I don't like passing an Unbreakable Formation. I think it's great in weenie decks. But since we are fighting for red-black sack tools, we got to take the Strider. And would love to see the Inspector on the wheel. This is another one that if we recast, cast this, sacrifice it, recast it, draw, draw, draw. Think of how many turns we could control the board. Golos down here, being Golos. Isamaru, Hound of Konda, just a 2/2 for 1. But Timuret Calls the Dead could get us more value creature-wise. Crippling Fear would probably be okay in best of 3 against another weenie deck that we could target and save our stuff. But yeah, pretty weak pack. We'll probably play. Yeah, it's like, are we playing any of these if we take them? Yeah, Fetid Pools, since we do have, we had some other leaning towards possible blue, right? No, we didn't end up taking that land. So, very underwhelming. Yeah, I think the David's comment, like I said, Fear, we're best of 3. Fear is going to have its job out of the board sometimes. And Isamaru has really lost its luster over the years. Pact of Negation, interesting too. But no, I'm going to take the Fear. I bet we wheel Swift Response. It's not the worst, but it's not great either. I don't know, we'll see. I'll probably start that in the board. This is both of our colors. What does she do? Yeah, maybe we could try and wheel Kaya. Rankle. Rankle gives us a sack outlet, though. I think I'm going to take Rankle and see about wheeling something in this pack. Mythos is a reasonable call, 2D. We don't really have the green, but just destroying a creature is fine for 3. But we have some stuff already on that front. I think. Predator on the red splash. Gifted Etherborn. Yeah, where's the... I guess if we're going to red splash, we could just take the land, but I don't see any red we're going to splash yet. I'll take the dragon and see if we wheel the canyon slough. Slew? I think it's slew. But anyway, I like the predator here. Yeah, it's a cycle land. I get it. But predator, if we end up playing it, would be excellent. I'll give it a chance. Remorseful Cleric is self-sacrifice and can be returned with Luris. Declaration in Stone is good interaction. But yeah, this is not a bad one to have just in the deck, and then it really hoses some strategies completely. But Declaration in Stone... I'll take the Cleric. Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. Declaration in Stone really has a penalty to it, right? Emiria's Call is fine. Glasket is good, though, too. That's some cheap interaction, but Call as a powerful land is interesting. How are we doing on playables in general? Already got cuts to make. Let's say we don't splash that. We're pretty good on playables. We wouldn't mind interaction like the... it's funny, do you call it easy call when you've been screaming at me to take interaction for the past 20 picks? So I find it interesting that when we do have interaction, now suddenly you're on the land. I mean, I don't blame you. I'm kind of there too. But I don't think it's easy because we do want Class Casket and its ability. But I do think we have enough playables to take the land. Here we go, right? Yeah, that's some fixing. Can we afford to take the fixing over other? Because we'd like the laptop. We'd like. What is this guy? Yeah, these are all fine, but again, with the playables we have, let's ensure that we cast the spells. I'm going to take the dual land over the Reaver. We'll leave Reaver for the Judith player. Is Ashiok a consideration? I didn't really consider it, no. I suppose it's not a bad sideboard call, but it's really not on plan here. I don't know what we'd be doing if we took, why we'd be taking it, other than to say, and here's an axis on which we could win if you don't do something. Hey, I thought this Bugler would come back. It did. God's Willing is an interesting way to save some stuff, but we'll take a Bugler for the value train. And this does give us, like, I think we take this land. It's effectively free. And we get a second source of red that gives us an avenue to Valky without having to support it heavily. And the dragon, yep. Kind of, let's see if we come up with one more. If we come up with a third source of kind of free red, I am in for the dragon. Well, all the stuff we were saying is kind of came back to continue to be I guess we could take a swift response. A little more interaction here. I just don't think either of these are relevant enough to make the cut. Like, Bodyguard is better than Isamaru. Bodyguard comes back every turn to protect something you care about, right? So let's take this response. All right, I saw the castle and got excited, but the Dragon Skull Summit does give us avenue to play all of our... that gives us the magical 3 free sources of red and lets us do Predator. So yeah, castle is nice, but I'm going to take the Dragon Skull to support Valky and to support playing Predator as a sack outlet. Well, we don't have that many, D. You're like, why aren't you doing a low curve? He says to the guy with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1-drops and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 2-drops. It's like, we are? Oh yeah, Showdown 2. Let's try it. Let's get greedy. That third land. I'm going to cut these so I see how many actual lands we got. Take the Sprite in case somebody's doing that. You're not going to leave me holding the bag. Low curves have their place and are good for reasons we understand, but this is a land, so let's think of that as a land. And you know, D, this is a low curve. I don't know why you're afraid. Like, what do you think? We're gonna that we're never gonna have 5 mana or 6 mana? Like, it's good to have a little bit of a top end. Yeah, this is in the land. This is land. Right? So you think Ranger's a cut? You don't like getting 2 of these sweet run drops for free? I kind of like getting sweet run drops for free. Of course, something's got to give here, so what's it going to be? Do we cut the sword? This was kind of a goof grab. I got stuck on a pick and time ran out on me and I had the sword selected. We could bring this in against green-blue, where it's going to be extremely powerful. And because the other thing is against, it can be clunky. The downside of these classic sword cycles is the 5 mana it takes to get it going. And 5 mana can be a little... Oh my goodness, D, I'm about to mute you. Can you stop talking about the curve, please? I've expressed where we're at on that. I think you are obsessing over a couple of expensive cards in a very weird way. 6 too expensive in this deck. What are you gonna run 15 lands? I mean, if you want to cut all of this and go to 15 lands or something, but we're not even best of 1 to take advantage of hand smoothing or whatever. So I think you're way overthinking it, D, and we're playing the Gear Hulk. And when it's stuck in our hand and we're on 4 mana or whatever, you can say ha, but I'll say, yeah, that was part of the outcomes we knew were possible. There's also that outcome where we have 6 mana and a frickin' Gear Hulk. You ever had that? That's pretty darn good. I love that our top end either helps us win with the big Angel Lord, or if we were cut anything, I would like cut the Angel as a bit win more. Like, really, if we do get up to this end, we probably want removal creatures to set up the early stuff to do its thing, whereas Angel just kind of makes the early stuff a little bit better. Yeah, good question. Let's look at the Bugler. When it enters the battlefield, you may look at the top 4. So we need to on average hit in a 40-card deck, we're going to need to see 15. Reveal a creature card with power 2 or less from among them. Right? And maybe that is not quite good enough. Right? We have some, but not enough. Oh, is it power? Sorry. Yeah. Good. Power is much different. So I was sorry. I read in my head CMC. So 1, 2, probably not enough. I'm already done with it. Like, Ranger lets you go get these specifically. Bugler is, really, you think it's enough hits? I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It hits 12 when to, on average, see one we wanted to see 15. And I think that's just a little low, especially given that we need some cuts here. So I'm just going to cut it. And in fact, we probably need 3 cuts, get to 22, given the spell lands we have here. I think I'm going to cut Angel of Invention. Oops. On the theory that I was saying that, like, we don't really need this. Yeah, Aerial Responder is a little weak. Maybe out of the board when we want the lifelink. You'd cut the Gearhulk before the Angel. We're not going that wide, though. Hodge says the Anthem is huge. I don't know. Maybe we could run Bolt. We could keep it all in. And drop, like, the Responder. We could cut Remorseful Cleric until we know that it's doing more than being a 2/1 flyer for 2, but it's not, doesn't suck. But yeah, I'm going to go with my gut so we can get to playing. I think that Angel is better in go wide, and I like having removal at our top end. And then I can just pile on the lands here. And I don't think we want any natural mountains, and we want it, well, yeah, Grasp could be weak as well. That double black is oppressive. Maybe I want a little more black, though. Hard to say. I think we want more white. I'm going to do it this way for now. Export. And let's do some deck building. Yeah. What 4 great cards do I pass with 5 cards left in the pack, right? I mean, that's the thing. It's crazy even seeing what is clearly not even getting played in a cube situation. Which is this? Oh yeah, this is my broken account. We'll go play on my real account where it's not quite as broken. I still have to work with Wizards on that. My decks just don't exist on that particular account. Fortunately for Wizards, it's an account I really don't care about constructed on, but it's a little annoying. Thank you for that sub. Who was that? Media, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, maybe I should be finding a home for that sword. Maybe I'll put it in. Let's see. Let's at least get the deck imported. Yeah, when the Cauldron didn't wheel, we knew we had passed Judith, and then the Cauldron didn't wheel, and like, darn it, somebody else is sacrificing stuff. I bet if we combined our pools Tuesday, we could come up with a heck of a sack deck. In any case, we are not companioning here, and so we'll call it going solo. No companions here, and Also want to see my land sitch. As is 5, 6, 7, 8 sources of 9 sources of white. No, 10 sources of white, and then 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sources of black. Right in there. Anyway, I'm happy with that breakdown. And if we wanted to add, what's our totals? 18. Like if we cut our worst creature and put in the sword, what would that be? I'm holding on to this ranger. I do love searching up a couple, you know, it's a 3 for 1. Is it like bodyguard or wanderer? Oh yeah, let me get to there for you. Thanks. Appreciate it. Might just be wanderer. Like, we're not actually looking to be hellbent all that time, you know, per se. I'm going to try cutting that. I think I'm going to try playing this. And play styles. Yeah, we want their cleric. We want their wanderer. So I'm going to craft those. We'll craft all this. I hear you, Hammer, but like, you say it gets worse. It only gets worse in the sense that we no longer have specifically Dread Wanderer as an option to fetch. And yes, that makes the Ranger worse, but we never wanted to fetch the Wanderer in the first place. The only time we'd want to fetch the Wanderer is if we have 3 of these already in hand. Like, oh, we drew 3 of our 4, so now we're going to get Wanderer and the other one. But I'm going to say, you know, Ranger is only sad trombone if we specifically draw 3 of our 1-drops before we draw a Ranger. It could happen. But yeah, Kaya was a pick we had at one point, Norbert. We took a mono black card instead. I can't remember which one, but Rankle, I think. I think we took Rankle over Kaya, and Rankle's right on plan for us. That was why we did that. So I hear you, and we can say, hey, you know, let's say, you know, if Ranger, if I'm casting Ranger and not finding 2 things to get, then that's a fair oops. But I think odds are on our side that this is fine, and I'm going to give this a shot. I don't know if anybody redeemed lands or anything. Let me see. Nope. I'm going to go with it as is. I feel like I just want to get going here. So I'm going to go in order. Fenor, are you up? Or does somebody else want to take first crack? And that's Malfenor, right? There we go. All right, best of 3. Good luck, Fenor. See you on the other side. I think the blue-red, we went... Do we get 3 or 4 wins with that? Oh, no, wait. Maybe I'm not done with it. Maybe I drafted it and didn't finish it yet. I think that's what's going on. I think I'm like... I can't remember. I think I'm like... Oh, maybe I did finish. I'll have to look. We'll look later, Haj. Now I can't remember. Gauntlet style, although I am doing some best of 3. We usually do best of 1 so I can play everybody, but today we're doing a little best of 3. And actually I should update the format to reflect that. All right, we can keep this. It's a little bit clunky, but we can keep. We at least have a Heartless Act on 2, a landing on 1, and we got a lot of low drops we can draw from here. That's interesting as well, but let's start with the landing. This gives us showdown on... we ideally showdown on 5. You want to play this when Chapter 1 can get you a land to play, ideally. I just wanted to get going, D. I felt like the draft portion took long enough there that I wanted to get onto the games rather than worry about how purty our lands are today. Is this worth an act? Not at instant speed. It's not worth doing to not worth doing to get an attack in, but we can see. Ideally, we see a much better target for Heartless Act before the end of the turn. And it's not amazing, but it is better, and I'm going to kill it. Probably not. Let's see. Oh, Cardboard Live is up. And it even has focus, so if it's not working, I don't know what to tell you. Well, this is just unlucky to not find other action in this deck by this turn. Question is, do we cast Showdown next turn if nothing else? And probably the answer is yes.
Oh, here comes the flood.
So, yeah, we're going to have to Showdown now, which is not when I would ideally want to do it, especially also because it means we're not going to Angel next turn. We're going to cast our Showdown cards. But I can't do nothing here, so we're going to Showdown. Yeah, I literally would have played anything castable in the deck over Showdown on 4, but we literally got nothing to cast on 4. I agree, Haj. Haj says if we don't find a way to spell, just play one of these lands and Angel next turn, and I agree. But we can't do the next. We can't cast these. This next turn is our last chance to cast these. But we should do what matters the most. I'll definitely play a swamp out of the cards here. We've got our red splash well taken care of. So yeah, we didn't find... Oh my god. You tried to be reasonable. You had some little bits of reason in your... But I'm done. Let's see. What do we want to do? Let's angel up the Taralf again. Media likes the Woe Strider play. I guess, yeah, we could wait another turn and save the angel. That's true. Chumping is rough, though, and we can't chump Taralf. We can, and these both have tramples. So there's not really much chumping going on. It still might be correct, but it's not because of chumping. Yeah, I kind of, the double trample makes me think we have to actually angel it up here. And we can, if we angel the Hydra, it does not re-enter well, right? It re-enters and dies. But we can start with angel, getting something here. 2, 2, 3, 4 lets us technically block the Taralf and trade, and then angel dies. So let's get the Hydra, because if the Hydra comes back, it's dead. And then these two can double block, and it's not dead, but it comes back as an 0-1, right? Which is very, very useful to us, being a tiny instead of huge. So one of the lesser powerful Showdown of the Scalds, but it's not even done yet. We do get Chapter 3 to throw some more counters around. So that's why we did what we did, because if they had an answer, as Fenrir did, the Hydra comes back as pretty weak. And unfortunately, it got exiled, so we don't get to embalm it. No blocks, we have outs.
We will say goodbye to flesh and blood.
I mean, this is a little much, deck. A little much. We'll do the thing we've got. Do we... Yeah, send the token, get to 13, seems fine. Could consider sacking the token to eat Taralf after that. Yep, Haj calling that out as well. So basically... get some life and have a play that allows us to do something about that God of Fury. Sometimes there's a delay. Magic Brett, are you looking to resub or sub for the first time? I've noted that some people feel like, hey, I should be able to resub right now, and I can't. And it turns out there's just, you need to wait a little bit, and then like in a day it's ready or something. But I don't know about your case specifically. Thanks for trying, though. Anybody else out there? If you are an Amazon Prime subscriber and a Twitch viewer, and you are not throwing your free Prime sub to somebody, consider remedying that. Yeah, so just hang in, Brett. Give it a beat, give it a day or two, and if you're still unable to sub, we'll get you some better tech support. But Oh, really? Okay, I don't know then. That should work. Ah, technology. Famous last words. That should work. Hi, Clara. Search your library up to 2 bait. Okay, so that's just getting 2. Okay, it's not kicked. My daughter Clara heard from work yesterday that she's doing so well in her new grooming role. She's kind of a junior groomer, you might say, learning the stuff for dog grooming that you don't need to go to training for.
I'm not allowed to use it.
Yeah, no scissors. But she's doing so well. They're like the corporate, like head HQ, local HQ is like, who's this new person kicking butt in grooming? Let's get a plan for her. Let's get her trained. Like, they can't wait to get her trained better because she's doing so well. I'm so proud of her. I mean, as I told both my kids, it's amazing how far ahead you can get just by giving a damn about your job and caring enough to do it right. Hey, well, we got a serious flood, and now we got something to do with it. Gotta love these lands. Let's get rid of this. That's a good sign for us that Fëanor is reduced to digging for 4 mana. Next turn, we're attacking for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in the air. Close to lethal in just the air attack, but not lethal. We will... lethal enough for Fëanor, at least. Lethal enough for Fëanor. So, we are up against green, red, mid-range, ramp plus good stuff. You know, ramp and value. Gruely ramp value. So just we're expecting big spells. We want to be able to take care of big things. Like Swift Response might be worth it here because it's going to certainly trade up. Crippling Fear maybe not so good. The Predator only gets the +1/+1 counter when tapped, and we couldn't tap it twice. So it was only ever going to get 1 counter that turn, and I added the 1 counter, and 1 counter brought us 1 short by my math. But I do think this is a Swift Response situation. Cleric. Yeah, this could be a Cleric situation. That's a fair point in terms of the Arachneer, mouth and feed would like to get exiled. So I don't know if what we've seen from the graveyard is so important that it's worth bringing in, but this isn't a bad creature, you know. Could go... I think I'm going to hold off until I see more. Like, yes, Fenrir's doing something with the graveyard, but it didn't seem like the plan. Whereas I like this against their Reanimator, right? You like it better than Acquisitions Expert? That's fair too, although this is going to get some stuff. And I like that this recurs nicely. But maybe we cut this as the thing just to get in the swift response, which we need as well. Like, if we don't cut that, what are we cutting? I'll just do this. Alex, thank you for that sub. Awesome. This looks nice, too. Had a hard time in the corner watching our expensive spells win the day. Scary start there. Ideally, we find a 1-drop somewhere along the way here in the next 2, like, because I'd like to go Clarion Spirit and then next turn Cruel Celebrant with another 1-drop. I think we go Spirit. I mean, what else are we doing? We can go Celebrant, but I'm going to play this on the hopes that we can 2-spell, and if we can't, we'll be able to 2-spell pretty soon with Ranger. And I'm going to go ahead and attack for lifelink. I should have done this before I bothered showing I was tapped out, but I'm going to make them have something. If nothing else, I will get a life. Yeah, I'm okay with that. We can still flip this soon enough. It's like we traded Blossoming Defense for part of our card, and it's part of our card that's going to keep this from flipping sooner, so it might be probably worth it for Fenor, but... Ooh, need some interaction for that. Don't have any of it here, though. I'm going to go Shrine... Well, let's see, we can go... I think we just Shrine tapped and play Celebrant. And then if we find any 2-drop or 1-drop in our deck, and we can 2-spell next turn. And I'm going to offer the Clarion Spirit. Again, I should have done this before, but I don't even care. If they want to trade Perfect for the Spirit, it's open on the table. The offer stands. Would you like it? No, they would not. Shocker! Shocker! Can you believe that? Yeah, Celebrant does trigger, but I didn't even think about it. I'm doing the thing where I should at least think about it ahead of time. We did not find a small thing. We found a splash thing. So I'm going to go Ranger of Eos this turn to go find us a 2-spell for next turn. And how do we want to do this? We don't have our tools to make Archfiend excellent yet. So let's get Savior and Bodyguard, or probably just Bodyguard. And I like the lifelink, but I like the no mana of the Dauntless Bodyguard and the Savior. We can still swing. And actually... yeah, they get more information, but again, I should be thinking about my swings before I do this. I'm just excited. I'm going to do what I said and take the mana-less ones. It's true I'll have mana up. But we don't know what we'll draw, though. And this way I could play all of this, you know? Well, no swing now. I guess I'd still... Yeah, no swing because they can make an elf and chump the elf. We don't want that. That's true. Aghanim's Awakening could have been a good play with the Archfiend. How about we just play this as a land and get rid of this perfect while the getting's good, and then we can worry about the other stuff later. I would love to awaken at some point, but I am really happy to get rid of the perfect if we can. So I'm going to take this opportunity to do so. Of course, it may just end up coming back, but make him have it, right? Math says wait. I don't know. How many tokens do we want to give him? It just feels like I want it gone. And Shrinking allows us to attack with both of these as well. I mean, I guess Celebrant's an easy block, but make him do it. Now let's see if this Angel survives. Right now, Fëanor is short red. There you go. Expecting a couple of mountains here. Reaper and Savior or Bodyguard. Let's go Reaper. And then we can really do both. Let's just dump hand. I'm going to go Bodyguard on Angel. Really don't want him to get the perfect back. And Savior covers anything we want. Still just a simple trade bounce block, so I'm not going to send the Celebrant this time. I guess sending the Celebrant flips the land. That would have been the reason to do it. Sorry, missed that. It's not going to matter, though, because we don't have the mana for it anyway, and next turn we can attack. It'll matter if the game changes such that we can't attack with 3 next turn, but totally should have sent the Celebrant to flip it, and then we'd have mana, too. Although nothing to spend it on, so... Yes, Media. We know Fëanor, and I knew Fëanor was not going to feel that they were at chump stage there. I mean, maybe I should have put Fëanor to the test, but against a known opponent who I believe is going to be able, see that every time, I just didn't think it was worth it. Oh, yeah, for sure, Jim. I'm not saying it was not a mistake. I'm saying hopefully it won't be a mistake that costs me too much, but absolutely was a mistake. Now, Lurrus and Stockpile are super interesting here. I think we just swing away at face, and Lurrus, we can play Stockpile. I mean, shouldn't we just attack with everything? Yeah, I guess we can Lurrus and then cast the Spirit. Oh, right. Sorry. Let's read statics. It's not a reading stream, but we'll make an exception. The X ones just die, it's true. So yeah, I think we send the 3 to flip the land, and then see what we want to do after combat. The hidden Luris means that we can replay one of the... We'll save whatever they block with the dragon, and then replay something. But we basically get... I guess we'll use Dauntlet if they... Assuming they block dragon on Angel, we use Dauntless Bodyguard to save the Angel. That leaves the Savior around to save anything else we want. We cast Luris and play Clarion Spirit and still have a Savior ready. 2 things die, you say. What? What 2 things? Token is a trade? How? Oh, because of the damage. Yeah. Well, we can accept that. Mainly it's the Angel that we want to save, right? So no worries. In fact, maybe we do just send the Celebrant too? Right? Why not the token too? I mean, they get Elf Warrior on Celebrant if they want, but that's okay. That's okay.
Come on. I will consume you. Listen to them roar.
Three, 4, 5. I mean, there's a way we might be able to get close to winning just by sacking a bunch of stuff to the Celebrant. Not to the Celebrant, but you know what I mean. To activate the Celebrant. I'll see about lethal once blocks are settled. All right, so one. This is another. Oh no, 2 for the Celebrant. 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7. Yeah. We don't even want the Celebrant to live. We want it to die because it wins us the game. So we're just going to do it here. And then, oh, did I screw that up? I thought I had it somehow. But we can go stockpile and still get it. All right. Convoluted, but kind of sort of found my way there. It's exactly how I meant to do it. Shut up. Go sit in the corner with D. Good games, Fenor. What are my sack outlets? Let's see. We have... Oh, wait. This is the one. Oh, someone was asking about this. Look, I'm 2 and 2. That's where we're at on that one. I played Voxy over the weekend and got Voxy at 1 and 2 to stay alive. Knocked Voxy out of the event. We are looking at this deck, and Nah, it doesn't work, huh? I don't know if there's a way to do a rules text, like if it contains text, but regardless, I mean, there's some self-sacrifice, but a big one is Woe Strider. Predator on attack gives us a or Predator is a sack outlet, not even an attack, and Stockpile. Those are our main ones that don't require any, you know, they just need to exist. We have Stockpile and Mana, Woe Strider, and Predator as the clean sack outlets. All right, next up, we have Math Core. Math Core J. Here we go. Oh, no. One little misclick, and you're chatting instead of battling. I don't know. She may have taken care of her cursing before I popped into the stream to say hello. Yeah, it's a tough one. You need some exile, or it's like, what do you do about a predator with all this fodder? Keep or mull? Keep or mull? We do have 6 to the 7 we need for an Amiria's Call. Or, if you prefer, we have 7 land. Yeah, right. Wowie. All right. We got to keep this. And we're gonna throw back Plains. Keep everything else. Play Triome first. Although maybe we keep Triome on possible cycle. And with that out of the gate, Shrine for 2 damage hurts. It sets us up to not even be able to block the knight. Guess we're gonna go Triome on land, actually. What? Look. This is not okay. Stay out of my deck, you jerks. My Blood Artist. We have the red. We can just play this on black. And Valky, interesting. Probably want a Valky. I'm afraid of what might be coming up. But they might kill this, and we could wait until Valky is a little protected by the Savior or in the Bounty. Gain a little life and potentially block. Let's go Valky and see what's up in hand, though. Yeah. I was thinking of holding Triome too. Glad to get this Mentor gone, and heck, we can turn Valky into that, and it wouldn't suck. But yeah, I had been thinking I was going to hold this to cycle, but then decided with the Knight coming down that I was actually probably going to cast the Cleric as a creature. So since I decided that I was going to cast the Cleric, I decided to play the land as land. I mean, this Knight is scary biz. We can't block. It's got a threat of activation. Math probably just activates unless they found something here that's worth running. Yeah. You're right. It doesn't, like, Cleric doesn't actively block the Knight super well, I suppose. So maybe my gut reaction of, oh, now I need to cast the creature, was more just that it wasn't specifically that this measures up well here. It's just that, oh, they're dumping out early creatures, I'm going to want early creatures. I think that's the heuristic that kind of triggered, but you're right. I mean, it doesn't actively win blocks against a knight. It just represented a kind of deck I felt I wanted the cleric against. But you have a good point. And now, on that front, I think I like the cleric, and, well, we only have one white source, so we can hurt ourselves to play the cleric and get the 2 life back, and then we can play something else. Could also take a turn to make Valky into a mentor. Mentor is going to be very good coming up if we do that. So I'm somewhat tempted on that front. You know what? We've got enough of a, but this is super scary. But if this is where Math puts all of their mana coming up, we can find removal for that. So I'm gonna go for it. We have a few. We have Grasp of Darkness, Heartless Act. We have. And then we have Noxious, Gear Hulk, and Angel of Sanctions. So, like, we have 4 ways to get rid of it. There's not a ton, but we're going to look for them. Neither of those is super effective. I mean, all 4 of those get the knight, if that's what we're talking about. But knight is just excellent, so what are you going to do? Well, if we remove all the counters from knight, we can probably make use of it. Okay, maybe 3 out of 4. Huh. So let's bodyguard, mentor, and then well, start here. Draw a card. Play that. And I'll go Savior, draw a card. And 5 is still not this much, but we're digging, we're digging. Yeah, Ranger is at its worst right here. It's a 3-2 for 4. Could have sent the mentor, I suppose, if we're not blocking. I kind of wanted to show blocks, but I could have sent the mentor. We're not really putting it in front here. If anything, I'm like saving, but I'm gonna just let Math fire it off again. So I definitely should have attacked with the mentor. Find Lurrus, we can start chumping. That would be good. Hey, look. Ouch. But hey. We can send Mentor. I'm not going to send... I don't want to have to sack any of these because of a 1/1, so I'm only going to... Yeah, maybe I don't even do that. Like, Blood Artist is tough, but we do get Alseid and some life, so... yeah, maybe... Are we just... Do we just can't get there? Well, they don't have sack, right? How do they kill me? Am I missing something? Where do they sack? They have to sack stuff, right? We just take one and we can live. Only mostly, right?
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
I think we're only mostly. At least I don't see it if we're dead. Woof. Tight! But with Cleric and Alseid, we're not dead. Just... mostly. Midnight Reaper, not what we're really looking for. We're looking for gaining here. And we'll draw here, sure. Vessel does have lifelink. Probably just need to play the 2 lifelinkers and then see what we can do. I mean, I could play Acquisition Expert, but really we need lifelinkers. We're going to decline here so we can get 2 of them out. And send in the sky. Cool game. I mean, this mentor's not ours. That's kind of funny. Whoa. Now we're gonna get some life here. I don't know if we're dead, but we like... I'm gonna let the computer do the math here and make the blocks I think we need to make, which is to say like this, and then actually save the lifelinker with the Selfless Savior. Although, does that just kill us? That just kills us. If we sack before the lifelink happens, this happens, right? Yeah, so I can't even do the Savior or else I kill myself that way, I think. So we just need to exchange with the lifelink and hope here. We're down 6 right now, so this is just GG. Yeah, that's fair. Like, might just be doomed. Yeah, I guess you're right. We had to take 2, huh? Can't, if we block, we're dead, but if we take, we're not dead. All right. Taking, so we're not dead, but this is real grim, gang. Real grim. Luris with the big lifelinker. Can we get some ETB? Yeah, if we can kill the... Can we sack? Do we have a sack outlet for the cleric? We need to, like, recast clerics. Yeah, so, like, we can't, like, are we still just dead? I mean, we gotta play this, right? Swing your 2 lifelinkers, play expert. But don't we, again, don't we just die? We don't survive, right? It is too complicated for my old man brain, but look, I just feel like we send our lifelinkers, they trade, and we are at 1, and the lifelink doesn't overcome the drain, right? So I don't see how attacking helps. I mean, we can play this, though, sure. But they drain us twice. Maybe I screwed it up, but it is what it is. This looked pretty grim. Let's make them do the right thing. All right, they figured it out. We don't have a play there because we don't have a sack outlet. If we had a way to block, yeah, just too much, too low on life. It's easy to say we should have angeled the Blood Artist, but did you see that knight? That knight was scurry, and we were going to die to it pretty quick if we didn't take care of it. So I don't know. Blood Artist was scary too, but knight was real scurry. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's funny that we're both in it. Maybe the packs just had a lot of it, but also I think both of our decks are a little lacking. Yeah, we do have Platinum Angel. Lifelinker. People want to get some life back because we're being drained. I don't want to overreact to the fact that we happen to be in low life situation there. Yeah, this seems I'm in for Crippling Fear though. Let's see if we can make that work. Maybe this is where Gear Hulk is not at its best as a main deck card because everything it's getting rid of is pretty small. So I'm willing to cut Gear Hulk from this build for this opponent. Yeah, we could bring an Angel on that axis. Swift Response. Aerial Responder. Again, I don't want to overreact, but maybe we could cut the sword. Sword doesn't seem like it lines up well here. They have infinite chumps, right? So sword is not a great play. And where does that leave us with the other stuff? See, I'm kind of out on Responder. Like, I don't want to overreact to that board's game state. That game state's board. Yeah, Rankle maybe less good because they have also such sacrificing. The reason we were bringing in Swift Spirit, Swift Response, I think, is just the nature of the stuff they are attacking with, like, well, especially the Knight. But maybe the Knight, maybe bringing in Swift Response is an overreaction to the Knight. And I'm still in for Expert. It comes down early and it loops well. We got to cut something, so maybe it's the thing that we give up in that respect. But I'm going to cut the Rankle first. Let's try this. Swift Response might be underwhelming, David, you're right. But it's a little more interaction with a card that gave us some trouble, so we'll see. All right, we can keep this. But it's not doing much on 2. I'm going to go ahead and run the Bodyguard out. Mulligan from Jay. Ugh, brutal. We have so much low action and rough to not have anything to do on 2 here except kill our own Bodyguard. Cycle the Triome on 3 if nothing else. But what a brutal turn for a, quote, low-down deck, right? To have turn 2 nothing, turn 3 cycle a land. Oof. Hopefully we find something better to do. I think that qualifies. We can make an argument for playing the land tapped, but we're going to play Valky now anyway. So let's start with Valky and then C. We do want red, but we don't have any red in hand, and yes, we want red, but let's say we drew another plains here or something. Like, we gotta go look for action at that point. As it is, we found some action, so we don't need to play the cycle the Triome. Let's take a look at what they've got in their hand. Great. Let's take Heliod, and then we can make Valky a copy of Heliod. Blood Artist also interesting, but I think we should take the Heliod. And with that, now do we want to go Triome? Next turn we can spend 3 to become Heliod. I'm gonna play the Triome as land now, because we do want to get to Angel of Invention, and I don't want to have to figure out another place to fit this in. Could send in the Bodyguard. I didn't want to do this until I knew what was up here. We should see that Elspeth Conquers Death can actually get rid of the Heliod if we become Heliod, so we gotta keep that in mind and make sure we're doing that when we want to. But we can send the Bodyguard anyway, because we'll happily trade with the Null Priest. I believe so, because it should copy CMC, right? It becomes a copy of that card, and cards have CMC, right? Cards have casting costs. Still a bit floody. And of course, if I knew for sure we were drawing land, maybe I hold that Triome, but we still do want the red. And swift response on the Null Priest seems fine. We'll send in here. Kind of don't want to be Heliod yet anyway, because right now Valky's cracking for 2. Heliod would not be. Lieutenant, that was one of the cards we passed. Rocket with opinions as usual. Luris, super interesting, but I'm going to go with the Angel. And if we fabricate, we get some go wide. Do we want the go wide or do we want the go tall? Well, let's play it and see what chat thinks. Yeah, that's true. We're trying to get Angel exiled anyway, so given the Elspeth, we should spread it out. Good call, chat. Super smart. And next turn we can Luris and convert Valky. Boy, let's see. I think we could even go block with everything and recast Valky with Luris to retake Heliod. That seems fine. Let's do that. tapped out. Protection from multicolored. These are all single colored. I don't know what Test of Talents is. So hard for me to say. But yeah, let's take this. Yeah, we get drained a lot. We're at 17, though. It's true. Elspeth Chapter 3 is going to get something back. But in the meantime, we're doing something, I suppose. This got more expensive for us. But next turn we can make a Heliod and cast a Dauntless Bodyguard, unless they come up with a plan for Lurrus. All right. Well, I'm just going to dump everything here. And I like Bodyguard for Lurrus. I like making Valky Heliod. And Stockpile becomes too expensive to play, but that's okay. Yep, we're going to crack in with Lurrus under protection of the Bodyguard and get some counters and some life. Ooh, that's good. So they don't, we don't get the life because of that, which is annoying. We do keep the Lurrus, though, and we do have Heliod activation. But a nice play there to keep us from getting some much-needed life back. So I'm willing to chump here. Yeah, protection from Lurrus is kind of stinky, but we can still block with Lurrus and still do silly things, casting stuff each turn with Lurrus. Kind of relying on Lurrus to have any chance here, though. Now, Alseid of Life's Bounty is also nice. But let's go Bodyguard on Lurrus. Bounty. And Stockpile. And now we can at least attack with Heliod. Again, though, Lurrus just is ineffective against Basri's Lieutenant, so we're not even going to send Lurrus. But Heliod, different story. And we can't give Heliod lifelink, right? It's other reading cards and stuff. And we could sack to trigger Revolt. But I'll wait. I like having both of these. Yeah, it's true. We can pro white, but let's do it when we haven't used up our Luris for the turn. We've already used up our Luris for the turn. I'm going to wait. And here, kind of like chumping with a bodyguard and sacking for the scry. This is our turn. I know it doesn't create a servo, but it's still value. You know, it's a scry. Yeah, we can block this with Luris since this is going to be... Yeah, this is fine. I like this too. Yep. Now, where do we want this counter? Heliod? Heliod's big enough already. Maybe we just keep making Luris bigger. More lifelink. So have you ever noticed that the blood artist is painting you? Notice how the blood artist is looking right at you and is painting a picture of a dying, bleeding person on the floor. So I just love this art because the blood artist is totally drawing you. Charming prince, you say? All right. I missed that. Was it top? It was two something, nothing else, but I couldn't see if it was two top or two bottom. Top. That's no good. How are we supposed to be top? I scoop. Now I kind of like Bodyguard should protect Luris, but Skyclave Cleric sack to stockpile. Yeah, maybe we have to hold back Heliod, but at some point, like, see, like the only thing we can win with right now, and it does attack quite well here. Let's go. Hey, Hunter. How goes? Summit. Easy scry down. I'm very worried math. Jay has topped on a scry too. So, Trouble Town there. Yeah, I saw that on Facebook, Hunter. I'm sorry about that. I hope you find good solutions. Maybe somebody in chat has some ideas for you. Cleric for more life. That's what somebody said on Facebook, Craig. I'd never heard that before, but you're replicating a reply somebody gave to Hunter on Facebook, which I didn't know, that sometimes if you eat local honey, it can help with your local allergies. That's super interesting. Science. Where does science say we should put this counter? Am I still just making Luris huge? We can make Heliod bigger, yeah. Let's start mixing it up and throw it here. I'm not sure why, though. I'm just kind of playing, which is not great, but seems reasonable. Start making another lifelinker bigger was my idea, though. And keep doing this. Stupid Blood Artist, making it hurt. Do we even want a Midnight Reaper? I think we do. I mean, we've got to watch our life total, but this is extra cards with all this we got going on. Right now, though, yeah, I'm worried about a Grateful Apparition. And are we attacking yet? What does attacking get us? Do we have the defense? We kind of have the defense. I think we start attacking with Heliod. We got a lot on defense here. Lots to chump on the ground. If we need to prevent lifelink, we can sack to prevent lifelink. Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. Our protection against Lieutenant, we don't, like, we have endless chumps. We don't need protection against Lieutenant, really. Although it growing bigger is a problem. Like, maybe we got to start growing Heliod, or else Lieutenant just gets a chump on, it gets to bounce Heliod off. We could have actually done procession-y stuff. You like life-linking the tokens and jamming to make one huge Alseid? Yeah, sure, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I think we do need to have Heliod grow to keep... Although, yeah, because the Lieutenant keeps growing on defense, so we need to keep Heliod at a consistent size to get through the Lieutenant. And Reaper. Interesting. When a Midnight Reaper deals 1 damage to you and you draw a card. Yes, I think it would get you. Giving Midnight Reaper lifelink would help with that. That's a good call. We don't have the mana for it this turn if we want to draw, activate the stockpile, but it's a good call for next time. Yeah, we have Lieutenant removal if we find it. Are we still attacking here? This does attack in, and we have plenty of blockers back. Not enough mana to execute some of the strategies we're talking about, but I'm going to send the Lieutenant right now, or send the Heliod right now. And again, I think we want to do this now on Cleric. Ranger, do we have the fodder left? We've got Bodyguard, Bounty, but we still have... we got the Savior, Dauntless, and Alseid, so 3 of 4 are already gone. Probably don't want the Ranger. But and also the spirit does help. Thing is, if we get the Archfiend, maybe the Archfiend in itself is enough, because we can sacrifice it and return it and make a 5/5 flyer. And actually, a 5/5 flyer is solid. So I'm going to keep that, even though it doesn't get us the usual value. It gets us the one a card that I think we really want. This could mess us up. If Jay just starts making some tokens, we could lose to that. This game's hurting my head, though. Kind of want Math to just beat me so I can start thinking about something else. This is tough. A lot of stuff going on here. This game is hard. Who made me play this hard game? Uh-oh. Lieutenant outpacing the Heliod. But we can maybe find some lifelink to get extra counters on it. So. Spirit. Cleric. We could hold the Ranger for a turn. If we Ranger, we could then play the 1-drop, but we can't really recast it. So... say 2/2 flyer? What 2/2 flyer are we talking about? I don't know, but I'll play this Cleric and Cleric. Seems okay. Ah, sure. Yeah, I definitely want a 2/2 flyer to stop the apparition from continuing its thing. And then we can stockpile still. Stockpile the Cleric again. Ooh, we'll keep that too. I don't know, maybe I'm being greedy and keeping a bunch of stuff we can't all cast, but I like all this stuff. Now we don't have Heliod attacks, so I'm going to stay back. I wish my brain could take in all of this and know exactly what to do. I'm already... This is why, by the way, I get lost in Commander. Like, Commander feels like this board times, you know, times 2. Except it's like this, except there's 3 other boards also as complicated. Yeah. Didn't we added in the Crippling Fear, right? I wonder if we draw Crippling Fear, what we even name. Let's draw Crippling Fear and have choices. Except we know what we're drawing. We could draw it for here, though. I think we start with Showdown. Let's do this and see see if we can find some answers to this nonsense. That could be good next turn, huh? So let's work towards that. And then, ooh, we almost sanction here, but not quite. I guess we can play this on black. And Cleric again. spread it around on the flyers at this point. Yeah, don't worry. We'll keep one up so we can always sack the Reaper and not die to it. And yeah, it does give us an attack, which matters as we're trying to close out this game. And we still have the one blocker. And Jay is top decking. We have 2 mana. We can spend 1 to sack our buddy the Cleric that we've been doing every turn. And we still have the 1 to sack the Reaper, should that be necessary. Do I need to leave up lifelink? I was thinking we didn't need to, but maybe I should have. I don't know. I'm going to keep land on the top. I mean, land is just... Well, actually, we don't need land here because we have one to play next turn. We're playing this one next turn. So then I think we go Angel of Sanctions on Blood Artist, and then Emeria's Call after that, right? Oh no, Emeria's Call, our last chance is next turn, so we gotta decide. Never mind, we gotta decide next turn. We only get one more chapter to decide between these two. Do we get both? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We don't quite get both, no, but we could get Call and Grasp, for example. We could go Angel Grasp and kill the 2 things that we're worried about. Risk needs to die. Blood Artist needs to die. Well, we have 2 removal spells, so there you go. I'm gonna chump, but not spend. I'm just fine to chump one of these away. Yeah, I could have just Helioded, but this actually gives us a draw. I mean, it drains us, but I like that we draw off of this. Oh, is it non-token? Never mind, never mind. Reading streams for others. But yeah, I could have just bounced Heliod, that's fine. Knowing that, I should have just bounced Heliod. Oh well. Do we want to sack anything before upkeep? No, I'm going to just go to this draw. So, we lose the Call, but if we get rid of Riss and the Blood Artist, we're in such better shape. I mean, we might not be with the Anointed Procession, but at least they're not angels. So let's kill the stuff we can, and I like Sanctions. Oh, this is for the counter. Yeah, I'll keep making big flyers. I'm not sure if it matters which one we Angel versus which one we Grasp. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. So small. How do we even win this? I'm gonna send the one flyer. Is it a 2-turn? Well, I guess I could send... Yeah, we don't really care if the apparition cracks back. So I'll send both. We have the angel on the defense. So yeah, we'll send that. Send those 2. That's true. I could have just done that, but it's too late now. I'm going to play the guy. We also now have, if we go shields down on sacking the Reaper, but we're going to risk it. You like activating like that's true. Oh well. I'm pretty overwhelmed here, guys. I'm happy to be doing legal things that aren't completely ridiculous. This is tough. This is tough. And we'll go counter. Let's make it equally... Continue making big flyers. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Just when you thought we were okay. Just when you thought we were okay. Are we okay, though? Let's see. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Yeah, we can just chump a couple and we're not dead, right? So we're going to find our lifelink. So, squinting at the board, we've got lifelink here. And lifelink here. So Luris goes on 2/2. I know, right? I can't read anything here, so I'm just guessing. Yeah, night pumps. We just got to do a bunch of chumping that doesn't kill us. But we got to kill some of their stuff, right? Like, so, but the Luris is going to kill something, and that's okay. But then the rest of it, we can do some chumps. What if we do this? So now we're 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's a virtual 19. And this is like 2021. And then almost, I guess chumping is better than... Is chumping better than taking? Right? Chumping loses us 1. Taking loses us 2, right? And yeah, Cleric is a nice block on the 2/2s since it bounces. We like these bounces. Oh, come on, go away. Like that, right? And then what else have we got that we want to do? There's another, we could chump here as well. Everything's covered though. Oh, over here. Yeah, Heliod on Lieutenant is a good point. We can do that instead. And then... Doggy. Chump Prince. Oh wait, we can do Prince Chump. All right, so now we've chumped everything bigger than 1, and we take the rest. Dog and Bodyguard sack. Why do we want to do that? I think this is good. I think we survive here, right? Eating tokens, I guess... Well, I guess eating tokens is fine, right? It's the same damage. It's still Bastion. So yeah, we should go through and eat tokens, right? But it does... It's the same thing. But it doesn't matter. If we sack the dog, it's still triggering the Bastion. Yeah, they gain life. That's true. We don't want him to gain life. What a complicated turn. What a complicated turn. So, yeah, so our stuff can die without triggering that. That's the main thing. So we think we do just let, unless it's lifelink, we just let these through, right? And then this one, so we can let that, we can take that off there. Non-tokens, or tokens don't, as I learned, so we can actually chump successfully with our tokens without taking damage. All right. I hope this is okay after all that. This is a complicated situation, of course. And I'm going to call this blocks and hope that I didn't screw it up. If I die here, it's sure an example of how hard Magic is. But this is breaking my brain, so let's just get on with it and see how we did. I'm scared, Scott. I kind of hope this just kills me so that I can not have to face this matchup again. I hope we live, Papa. We tried, but it's a complicated situation. Hey, we somehow pulled that out. Oh my lord. Thanks, chat, for the help. That was a brain breaker. Why do we play this game? Why would we do this to ourselves? Yeah, just one more time. My goodness. Well, I'm going to assume our sideboarding is good and just run it back here rather than belabor it anymore. Don't worry, we'll steal Heliod again. But yes, we only won that because of the god that we stole from Math. All right, I like this Crippling Fear in the opener. We can kind of play around casting this, and we'll go ahead and send in the Bodyguard. Yeah, I should just bring in Platinum Angel to make it simple, huh? It was one we considered in the previous build and then didn't do here. I could play the Bodyguard, but it means Grasp isn't available on 2. And we're looking to do Crippling Fear anyway. Maybe I'll play this a little cagier and start with a Swamp, see what happens. Although Alseid, we did see removal, right? We didn't see no removal. I'm gonna go ahead and Bodyguard. At least it clocks for 2, but I'm gonna hold on to the Alseid. That's a good grasp target. I think we just take... I think we're just going to grasp there and hold the Crippling Fear for later. I'm just going to run the bounty out. Nymph and Human Knight. Can't keep them both. But we could save one. Lieutenant. Not going to be able to respond very swiftly to that thing. Boy, this doesn't seem like amazing or anything, but then it lands and you're just like, well, what do I do about that stupid thing? All right, we're going to play Pathway on white. And we can at least Reaper and threaten some double blocks. This isn't the worst. We'll see what Math comes up with here. Looks like a little stuck on mana colors with just the one grove. And yeah, I don't know what they might have, but I like Bodyguard and Reaper here, knowing that we can give Reaper pro white. And the Bodyguard is expendable. I guess we'll find out if Math has instant speed removal. I'm going to go for it, though. If we get blown out, well, we get some cards back. So even a blowout is not, like, the worst. So you just do this. Yeah, so that, I mean, that hurt, but we had the Reaper made it not a blowout, right? And we even found some removal for the Angel, for the Lieutenant. So we'll cast that. Ooh, so 6 total mana. Luris on 3 gives us a Bodyguard or Alseid back, plus a Legion's Landing. But I like getting our protection back ASAP. And then we can decide if we want to give up 2 to play the landing or not. Boo earns. But I do like, I'm going to pay 2 life. I'm going to recast Life's Bounty and Legion's Landing. This is colorless, right? Yes. We'll use Angel of Sanctions again on the Lieutenant again. Uh-oh. Well, I'm glad we have Alseid, because Vraska going after Luris is just going to get Alseid instead.
And what I do is win.
No red yet. Kind of want to wait till we get Tybalt, but let's also figure... I also really want to protect Luris. Do we wait a turn? We could... You're down to 1 card. This cannot destroy anything. Vraska's got to tick up. Yeah, I like... I'm basically deciding if we can go shields down for a turn and not recast one of these. And I think the answer is yes. We're going to cast Angel of Sanctions, remove the Lieutenant, kill Vraska, and hope that this doesn't blow us out or the top of Math's deck doesn't blow us out. All right, crossing fingers that we untap with Luris. If we untap with Luris, I think we're in great shape. If we don't, less great shape. But looks like we're in pretty darn good shape, I would say. I'm gonna go Angel of Invention, getting wide, and then I like a Bodyguard protecting Luris. since I can do that without having mana up, and then we'll flip the landing with the attack. Which made me, I guess I could have done Alseid because we'd have the mana on the flipped landing, but this is fine too. All right, Bodyguard is going to prevent destruction of Luris, and we did it. Wow. Kind of feel like I deserve this.
I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
Oh, man. That was a tough win. I'm not sure it was a real win because I feel exhausted and brain broken. So we won, but there was a cost. Jeez, Jay. Good games. Whew. That was a toughie. That was a toughie. All right, let me give you one more match. Norbert is next in my queue. That means Papa Get and Prof Wright, who agreed to stick around and possibly play, are going to be out in the cold today. But hold on to your decks. Maybe I'll find you later for a casual. If you see me online, you can challenge me or something. But Norbert is up next. Oh yeah, stealing your Heliod was the absolute reason I won game 2. We were actually wondering how we were going to do. How can I possibly win any more games without Heliod? Oh, Papa's next? Okay. No problem. Papa Get it is. Yeah, we noticed you only had the one non-black land and thought that was probably impacting your ability to do what you wanted there. All right, we'll keep this. Vessel into Celebrant. Then we'll see what we need to do from there. A couple of our red splashes showing up early. That's unfortunate, but hopefully we'll find some red before too long. Young Pyro. Well, guess what? We're going to make an offer, and they're going to refuse, but we'll offer it. Really just going to go Sword and hope that Sword gets there. Sammy Agar. Young Pyromancer suggests that Papa Get is more about spells here, but it doesn't hurt to know what we're up against, so I'm going to play Valky here over Sword. Try and get Sword. We'll try to do Sword on 5 mana and then cast and equip on the same turn. Let's start with Valky and try to control what Papa Get is up to. Hypnotic Sprite, Dive Down is something to note, but Hypnotic Sprite counters our Sword, so let's get rid of that. Talrand is unfortunate, but if we land the Sword in this case, the rest of these cards don't matter, so we'll take the Hypnotic Sprite. And I'm going to play Call tapped. Not going to block, not with the sword plan. Expecting to see Talrand come down here. Oh, interesting, going for the scry instead of the land, play Talrand. Makes sense though if they're, you know, feeling like they need to go searching for answers. Drawing a 1-drop or a land would be ideal so that we can go do something, you know, prepare for the 5th turn or... So 3-drop. We could play it and swing in and make offers again. But sword looks... We know their hand completely. They're playing blue. They could draw counter magic. Let's not mess around. Let's drop the sword and basically say you have a turn to solve your problem. Not even going to attack. Just going to say, what can you do about this? The only thing you have that interacts with a sorted up creature right now is blocking with Pyromancer. Oh, thank goodness, Amazon. Get me those vacuum bags so we can vacuum again. Floor is getting dirty. Oh, some of the best vacuums are still bagged. Yeah, we already talked about it. Hopefully this is Papa going, well, I can't beat that sword. What the heck do I do? Ravenform does take care of pesky artifacts in blue. Although they're playing red, so maybe they just find something smashy. Yes, I could text Marshall. Let's see when he's going to be on today. He's usually just wrapping up with an appointment right now. I'll give it a little more time before I do that. All right, so let's go ahead and suit up. It's all we're going to do this turn, but it's a pretty good turn. I guess we can actually convert Valky into a flyer and be sure we get in, so I'm going to do that. So we can actually do 2 things that are relevant here. This way they can't even chump with the Pyromancer if they want. Gonna have to take it. And we'll get a wolf token and start milling them. Look at target opponent's deck. There's Embercleave, Royal Eruption, Glorybringer. Gave him some card draw with Think Twice, but I think we can handle that. Yeah, that's usually how Sword works. You actually mill them out. You don't kill them with damage. Heartless Act is good to have in the back pocket here. We're going to stick with plan A, though. Well, there's a pause. It's explained by the think twice, but I mean, they have red, so I mean, red is not. We don't have pro red, and there's only 3 toughness, so there's really a lot of spells that can do that. Interesting. Well, we have Heartless Act, so if they go for a block here to take out our Valky, we can at least Heartless Act. Yeah, that's true. They do have dive down. We know that, huh? Well, I guess we're losing Valky then. Good play. Good play. Oh, I was thinking at least Valky still flies. So, I mean, it still is a trade, but at least it doesn't fall down into... I thought it was just going to be eaten by Agar or whatever, so that's much better. And we can make the dive down. Let's make him use the dive down, I suppose. Although if we don't, we can recast the sword and make it more... try to make it a problem again next turn. Can't what? Oh, yeah, I don't want to give him the... well, that's why we can Heartless Act here. So we have to, and then... unfortunately, we can't recast the sword. Yeah, so maybe... maybe we let this happen. Great plays from Papa to affect our sword plan. Really, really good stuff. So which one... We got to decide... Yeah, too bad we don't have one more land here, and then we would have great choices. So we'll just say, let this happen. They get this counter spell back, but we can say Reaper, and are you going to let that happen or not? I'd say we'll say put out the Reaper. They can't really let the sword resolve, so we kind of pin the Hypnotic Sprite in their hand by not playing it. But after thinking I had it all wrapped up, I'm now thinking we're behind. So there's that. Good job, Papa. Splash is hurting us right now. Got kind of a virtual double mulligan on the splash. Hey, friend. What do you think? Predator and Showdown both get around Sprite. If we go Predator now, Showdown next turn, we can play lands off of the Showdown, which is probably good. Might even be able to then cast something. So I think I like Predator here. We have a tax. We could offer up Midnight Reaper for like Agar, but we don't want to do that. Let's just say no attacks. Oppo could dive down, counter their own dive down to make 2/2/2 flyers. You get weird plays like that when you got Talran going on. But again, I feel like Papa now is locked into at least holding up this 2 islands or creating some treasure to be able to counter the sword. And Predator, as Hodge said, or no, was it Fenor who faced Predator before and was just saying, like, I mean, it's just good. Like, what do you do? Such an oppressive card to fight against. See if that's why we're splashing it. We'll see if it can get us there. I think we go ahead and showdown. But what do we want to keep land-wise untapped? Probably the swamp is fine. It gives us the Heartless Act play that they can counter if they want, but that frees up the sword. You like keep a white? I like keep up the Heartless Act, but I don't know. I didn't have a great reason for either one. Looks like didn't matter. I guess a reason might be we have more white 1-drops. That's true. But I figured we would find a land. We just didn't. So now maybe we play Cleric as a land. Set us up for next turn's action. And I'm going to send in Predator. Although it was keeping Oppo off. It's just... I mean, we want to get him dead. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Keep sending. Gotta send the Predator. That's what makes it good. And anything in the yard we want to get. What's the yard card we're scared of the most? I mean, we can just get rid of Embercleave. But yeah, Glorybringer is the thing. More likely they can bring creatures back somehow. But I don't think it really matters too much. It doesn't feel like they're digging through their graveyard for much. One thing I could have done and maybe should have done, I've already played this land now, but I could have just sacked the Vessel to the Predator to draw a card, which may be a basic land that we could have used to cast some of the stuff. So now I'm regretting having played that land, but we'll see. Might have to sack before we untap to make sure we draw a land next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 would give us quite a spread of these. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, we could get Bodyguard, Grasp, and either Ranger or Rankle. I mean, I could sack it, but we don't need to do... I mean, it doesn't do much. That's true. We don't even... It has no cost. But you only get this once per turn. I guess it doesn't tap it, so it doesn't matter. You're right. Oh, that would have been a reason to do it. I gave Agar a free draw. Whoops. I was trying not to do stuff unnecessarily, but I guess my default heuristic should be if you can sack and sack for value, go for it. So I just gave extra value to Papa for no reason. And there's the land that I could have gotten to cast some of this stuff if I had not played that. So, not my best turn. Not my best turn. This just in, Magic still hard. This just in, maybe we're dead. Oppo has a lot of stuff to go wide with here. Six in the air. Bunch of stuff on the ground. We're at 14. We got blocks. I think we survived, but with Midnight Reaper pinging us, maybe we don't. It only gives us cards here and here. All right, I'm going to remember this time. If I'd played last turn a little bit better, I think we'd have a real chance here. But as it is, I think I made just enough mistakes last turn to make this unwinnable. Definitely going to bring in the Crippling Fear again. Got a nice sweeper for this stuff. But I think we're down a game to Papa. I'm swinging away full on if I'm Papa. I mean, unless you have done that, like, do the math and don't lose to the crackback, but send everything else. There we go. There we go. I don't think we can beat this. In fact, I'm pretty darn sure of it. We're going to scoop it up. Try again. Rough to not find a land off that Scald, though. Man, any land there and we just do a lot better off that turn. I don't need to be as smart as I wasn't. Let's bring in Crippling Fear. Sword was answered, but still, although it just goes to show why the swords are they don't play as good as they look, and why they fell off as vintage cube playables for a lot of people. Swift response. I mean, they are attacking. I just don't know if swift response is correct. Rankle, maybe not at its best when the sack a creature mode is not doing more work. You want to exile their graveyard? Why do we care about their graveyard? I mean, they're doing a little bit in it, right? But I mean, we're going to keep it in. I'm just saying you can see how it is not... They're not absurd. They are merely powerful. They're not absurd. And suggestion to bring in the swift response of the remorseful cleric. I could see a swift response to have some earlier interaction. I don't even know if it's necessary. Yeah, they had a flashback on like one card though. What was... So, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just going to cut it and play. This can't possibly be the perfect sideboarding, but I'm also not going to stare at my sideboard anymore. We're going to play some Magic. This is distinctly lacking in black mana. I love that we have an early Clarion Spirit, but there's nothing much else going on with this hand, so I'm going to mulligan. Okay, good, good, good. I was worried that we were, in a bad place again, but this is actually fine. We keep everything but the Gear Hulk, and we can curve out pretty reasonably. Skyclave Cleric. Probably going to be a land for us that gets us to Ranger, but for now we'll drop the Swamp, play the Celebrant, and get in. But right now I'm thinking Skyclave as land next turn, unless we draw a land. If we draw a basic land, we'll just use those basics to get to Ranger, but I'm not going to risk not having Ranger on 4 if we don't draw a land next turn. I'm not sure what foretelling they had from game 1, but we did find a basic, so actually I'm fine with dropping the Cleric now. We'll play our splash color, Although maybe I should have held off on that because we may find double black and we can't cast them. But I'm just so I probably should have just played plains here and give us a chance to figure out our black situation. But at least we're nice and threatening. Oh yeah, Demon Bolt. Thanks. Forgot that they played Demon Bolt last game, and probably that's what it is. And I don't care if they pick any of these off, so go for it. Celebrant might die, but Ranger of Eos is going to reload us nicely. Hey, Oil Can, welcome. Well, still in the middle of it. Game 3, playing against chat here. Papa played game 1 excellently to take the first, and I'm trying to come back with a couple more. Exclusion Mage is all right. Interesting. We got a Cleric, we got a Knight. I guess we can get 2 of their cards. And I'm willing to do that over Ranger here. If we draw a basic land, we might Ranger play one of our 1-drops. Of course, Ranger we might draw a 1-drop, but there are 3. So even if we drew a 1-drop, we could fetch 2 others. And I'm gonna see what they got. Oh wait, gotta do it this way though. Oh, we only have 1 black. Never mind. I told you I did this wrong. Although I think I still would have ended up playing it on Mountain by now. We just are suffering the consequences of that lack of black. So given that, maybe just Ranger. So I'm going to go use all my mana and make that call instead. But given that, let's offer the Bodyguard. I'll trade Bodyguard off here. It's all right. And what do we want? Archfiend really doesn't do the thing yet, but we're sure hoping that we eventually do the thing. So we could take the Archfiend in the hopes that we eventually do the thing, or we can just take the 2 things that are kind of useful right now. Let's just do that. I'll be grown up here. Take those. It's also, they're white, so it doesn't choke us on further choke us on black, which we currently only have 1 we can play per turn anyway. Yeah, Haj points that out there. There's our splash mana. But mainly, right now, there's our extra black, right? We already had our splash, so just happy to have a second black. And I'll go ahead and play that. And they know about these. Let's go Celebrant. I like Celebrant, Savior, Alcid, and we'll save the Acquisitions Expert. Oh, never mind. Can't do that either. Still choke. So I will go ahead and play this, but let's attack first. Attack with the open mana. A little more threatening. Could send the Cleric, but they could double block it and force us to decide if we wanted to save it or not. And I will use up Savior and trade Savior instead of Ranger. Right on, Hat. Thanks for the update. Looks like we'll be sending to Marshall after this match. The question is, will there be another game or not? I feel like we're advantaged right now, but Talrand is hella scary. Could start spitting out 2/2s that really clog up the board effectively, so we'll see. I guess we will take the... I like taking the pathway. If they spend time either cycling or playing and enter this battlefield tap land, I'm more happy with that either way than letting him keep an untapped land. Bodyguard was our first play, so even though it has this sacrifice ability, this bodyguard is out of work. In a decent spot here, though, with Papa on 4 lands trying to overcome a pretty good go wide. Yeah, Lurrus would be amazing. Lurrus would keep the value train going for sure. We kind of have a white-black, low-to-the-ground aggressive deck that has some cool synergies that we can sometimes find, but it's not so tight on the synergies that we just every game are doing the thing, right? Sometimes our thing is just playing weenies and getting there. Just so here, we're going to go Clarion Spirit. See if it resolves. If not, well, we got the Alseid behind. But ideally, we go Spirit and Alseid as our second spell of the turn, and we get a flyer out of the deal. Thrash! Sure. There, Papa, of course, killing something before we get Alseid online. Makes sense. But now we can send everything as long as we're willing to lose, well, everything with above 1 power, right? So Ranger and Bodyguard can go. If we send in Expert, we could send in Cleric, but it gets double blocked and forces the Alseid. We don't want that. We're just going to send in these and maybe save the Ranger, but maybe even not. Why? Because... they could take, double block the Cleric, and we just lose the Cleric for no great value? You don't think so? Yeah, I guess this maybe can't afford to. Maybe I'm not being aggressive enough. We'll see if the 1 point matters. And this is interesting because we don't even need to save this, but I think it's probably correct to continue to leave a 3 power on board that's problematic. I'm going to do it. How about Showdown? That red-white saga would be quite the rip here. Technically showing lethal. If Papa had nothing but lands, somehow one of them foretold, it would be lethal. We still think that's probably Demon Bolt hanging out over there. I don't remember seeing something else with Foretell in Papa's deck. And Demon Bolt plus Royal Eruption is 2 dead things and 2 blockers, so We still need to find something in our deck here, or we're going to start falling behind. Even though it looks like we're heavily advantaged, if we assume this is a spell, we're really not. We're really at parity. Yeah, if it is Demon Bolt, we're just, like, exactly at parity. I like that it filters out effing. Come on, that's our PG-13 censoring around here. I guess there's no reason to play the planes. We can at least sandbag it. But there might. If we get Showdown of the Scalds, we'll want this out. So yeah, I'll play it. But we are in troubles now. I think we're disadvantaged. Talran can take over from here. Papa gets a cycle on the Triome. Well, we have some good cards. Let's see if we can draw one of them. You like Swing Bodyguard? I guess. Maybe I should have. I don't know. I just feel like I'm trading there. We can trade later. We might get our Angel and make things bigger. I don't know. Careful tapping. Careful tapping usually means a double requirement, like maybe Papa has something blue-blue. They're making sure to keep up. Now, Agar with a presumed Bolt draws a card as well. All right, that's not bad. I'm going to take that and use it right now. Can't cast that yet, but a good draw. Feel like this is where we start to really fall behind, though. If Demon Bolt draws a card and then other removal draws cards, we could just fall behind on that. We've got, you know, 4 or 5 pieces of interaction. Maybe that's not as many as we'd like, but we're also a pretty proactive deck, so you don't want to... I mean, we made picks to advance our own agenda, right? Too bad we didn't have the extra black. I mean, we couldn't do it. We needed black to even use this, but if we had been able to keep up a swamp, we'd have the Woe Strider out and then be able to sack this and keep Agar from being awesome. But every removal is like a 3-for-1. We lose our creature, they draw a card, and they get a 2/2. So Papa is pulling ahead in control. We could find our Crippling Chill, though. That would be nice. Crippling Chill would be like the big answer. And what could we name? Spirit, Rogue, Human Rogue, Core Cleric, Human Knight. So we can name Human and have 3 power left and everything else would be wiped. That'd be good. Although Human... yeah, none of these are humans, so be a good one to call. And you can say lack of targeted removal hurt this deck. We are 2-0. So, you know. We made some good choices, it seems. Oh, Chandra!
I know. I am hot, aren't I? Oh, this is gonna hurt.
just cast that and get a Drake. Crippling Fear, yes. Crippling something. Whatever we have in the deck that says crippling on it, I would like. Right now, right now, right now! Not bad. I think we need to take out Talrand. I want Agar dead, but Talrand's got to die, right? Talrand's making this tough. And Chandra gets to take out the Gear Hulk, but at least we have gotten rid of that Drake machine. And if Chandra -3s, at least we have a turn to try and get her. But this is tough. I'm assuming Gear Hulk is about to die to Chandra. That's what I would do, not knowing the hand here. Going for the +1. All right. What do we see? Double Vision. Well, 5 mana do nothing-ish. Come up with a 2 mana spell, though. It can do a heck of a lot of something. Letting it go. Interesting. Letting it go. All glory to the Hypnobringer. Well, that's not very good for us. Gotta say no blocks. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We go to 6. Glorybringer stays tapped. We can't. That's not how the Bodyguard works. Bodyguard is in between jobs, unfortunately. And that is just about the worst draw. More land. We can go play it. Play Woe Strider. If we play Woe Strider, we might... Let's see. I think we might just have to find something with Castle. And I think that's just the case. We gotta castle it up here. With Woe Strider in hand. So we lose a couple, but we're looking for answers. Thanks, deck. Thanks. Yeah, that's why we were desperately digging. The answer is you lose. You lose is the answer. Good job, Papa. Somebody took me down today. Well played, well played. Good deck. Scoop it up. Yeah, here, I'll give you the Wonka scoop.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
All right, fun day, though. Magic is hard. Cube is the hardest. And my brain needs a break. My goodness. Thanks for watching, though. Appreciate y'all hanging out. Stream Deck, you got problems? What's up, Stream Deck? You don't want to switch me to that view? Why are you broken on me? Fine. I don't need you, Stream Deck. Working fine all stream and then just gonna stop working? Fine, fine, fine. No.
So you get nothing. No. You lose. Good day, sir.
Now it won't let me turn off that meme. I gotta go find it. There it is. Turn off the Wonka scoop and go manually. Hello. Good games, Papa. Well played. Good deck. Thanks for hanging out, gang. I'm gonna see you next draft. Bye, YouTube friends.